the DORK podcast with Rich Keefe. It's the DORK podcast. Ryan Davey. It's the DORK podcast. Hashtag. It's the hashtag DORK podcast.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Hashtag Dork. My name is Rich Keefe, joined as always by Davey Eyeballs. He is Rick Rude Vaughn, Dick Dude. Y'all know who it is.
It's Ryan. It's Ryan. It's my Ryan. My Ryan.
All hail the king of ginger ale. It's Ryan Davey. Davey, how are you?
You know, every time that I hear that, I miss that show a little bit more.
What a great show that was.
A great show that was. Just an acting masterclass by everyone involved.
I know. But like there's no need for a season 2. You know, it's one of those shows. It was a one-off. Yeah.
Yeah. That was great.
Delightful.
Just
right.
shit.
How about this? As we have a big episode to get to, as all of them are. But I now have Apple Music on my phone.
There are no small episodes on Hashtag Dork. Let's just put that out there right now. No small episodes.
That's
yes.
true.
Okay. So Apple Music. Yes.
I have Apple Music. And so normally whilst I'm in the car, I'm a podcast or sports radio person. Fittingly enough, I go to the two, and I don't listen to like a ton of music. But now, long story short, I have Apple Music on my phone, and it is so overwhelming. First of all,
Yes.
it is like it's like scrolling through Netflix for the first time ever, but times like 1,000.
Yeah.
It's like, where do I begin? What do I listen to? Where do I go? Do I make playlists? Do I not make playlists? Do I jump around? Do I do this or do that? And so last Friday, I listened, and this is a true story. I listened to Rollin' by Limp Bizkit for the first time in maybe 20 years. And I swear to God, I almost cried. Now, maybe I'm dealing with some other shit too that we don't need to unpack. But maybe there's some other stuff. But it like immediately took me to a place where I'm listening to it on a Discman, like on our way to like a high school football game, like right before the game, listening to fucking Limp Bizkit and Fred Durst, and like both versions, the one with like Redman and Method Man and DMX, and the one with like just him. And I was just like, I was so happy to listen to that song. And I'm like, I'm going to make a fucking middle school mix, a high school mix, a Tony Hawk mix, a fucking Sad Sack mix, a fucking Rip Your Face Off mix. Like I've discovered a whole new thing. It's incredible.
You're just living your best life is essentially what you're doing. Now you can do what I'm doing, which every once in a while I'll make a playlist on Spotify, because I feel like you're in one or two camps. You're either Apple Music or Spotify. And I fall in the Spotify camp, and I'll make a playlist, shameless plug, and I'll hashtag Dork Shared Universe resident music expert playlist for this. I recently just made a New Jack Swing, which is like all early 90s R&B.
I'd listen to that.
Like, it's awesome.
Is Humpty Dance New Jack Swing?
Technically, no. Yeah. If Tupac is involved, it can't be New Jack Swing, I don't think.
What's New Jack Swing?
So your Bell Big DeVoes.
Oh, okay.
Early TLCs.
Okay.
Later New Edition. Tony. Stuff like that.
Tony?
No, just three. Just the three. Anything you would hear on the movie House Party or New Jack City.
Would
be New Jack.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm. That's good. I like it. So anyway,
that's awesome. So I'm happy for you. Now, was there two Rollins? There was like an Urban Assault.
Yeah. One was just the Air Raid, I think.
Air Raid version, and the Urban Assault version. Yeah.
Which was Method Man, Redman, Exhibit, and DMX. And if that song doesn't rock your socks off, I don't know if any song ever would.
Keep rolling. And there's like two lines in the whole song. He said,
"He's good."
And there's a little hokey pokey, hands up, now hands down.
Back up.
Yeah. Is there a dance involved here?
Know what you're gonna do now? Yeah, there probably is. I bet there's a music video where they have like a choreographed little number. Oh my god!
Is there now? You can say. Well, I think I asked this when we did the Woodstock '99 thing. Can you find a better band that's more like Wes Borland is possibly like one of the better guitarists to come out of that era, but he's just, and the drummer, I forget the drummer's John Otto.
Oh, he goes nuts.
Yeah. He's crazy. He's crazy good. Yeah. Anyway.
I love them. And I've said this on the podcast before. People who just shit on Limp Bizkit and Dane Cook, I don't know why you do that, because at one point you liked them. It's okay to say that you liked them both. Maybe you don't celebrate their catalog now, but they were great in their time. And oh my God, is that just good stuff? All right. Anyway, yeah, I understand that it is also WrestleMania is going on. WrestleMania 39, night 1. A delight, Ryan. I had a blast watching that, and I got night 2 on here, so I might be a little bit distracted. But Showcase of the Immortals is living up to it once again.
Awesome. Who's I saw was Cena wrestling in Kowloon shoes?
Yeah,
last night. Yeah,
yeah,
good for him.
pretty cool. Yeah, he was.
Food sucks, but I'm sure he has great shoes.
He's Nike Kowloons.
Yeah,
it's the Air Kowloons. Try the duck sauce. So yeah, he was there. He had a match. Usos and Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, fucking awesome.
Fucking
Charlotte Flair, Rhea Ripley, awesome. Anyway, that's that.
This week in DORK.
All right, let's get a quick TV check-in, see where you're at on the following shows. There's a ton out right now. I'm sure we're missing some shows as well, but The Mandalorian, are you all caught up on The Mandalorian, and what do you think so far?
So far, the last episode was the best episode of the season, front to back. I feel like now we're going somewhere. It's clear to me, and I figured, I'm not going to say too much, what Bo-Katan's thing was. Now I'm starting to figure it out. But I will say she's kind of doing what Din Djarin did in Boba Fett. Like, she's kind of taking over the show.
Which I don't mind. I don't
mind that either.
I love Bo-Katan, and
this path they put her on is good.
Yeah, and it's cool because like she could be the Mandalorian, right? Like they're all Mandalorians. Like Din Djarin is the Mandalorian. Everybody associates him as like he's the title character. But if it's a story about Mandalorian, Bo-Katan's right there at the top. So she's sweet. How about the ending? Not to spoil it, because we'll do a standalone once it's all done. I know some people wait and binge, but the ending of the last episode was fucking kind of creepy for a little bit, like kind of like tense and like kind of almost like a horror movie vibe, and then a cool ending. So
yeah, it had very much like Alien vibes to it.
Yes,
or like Dead Space, like that kind of vibe.
Fuck yeah, I thought that was awesome. And I thought the episode was over, and then there was like 3 more minutes, and it was that. And I'm like, oh, this is pretty great. Yeah, really just one absolute stinker so far. That third episode was trash.
And I thought it was silly that they bookended it with like good shit.
Yeah. Like, I'm not gonna forget about all the shit in the middle. Like that was still there. Have you given The Bad Batch a start yet?
I watched the first episode. It's good. With the crab people.
Pretty good. Yeah, I watched the whole season. It was 16 episodes, but most of them are like
20 minutes. They're short.
Minutes. You can kind of rip through them. But last week, I didn't realize they were doing a 2-episode finale. I thought it was going to end this upcoming week. But regardless, Bad Batch is good. I'm curious what you think. I'd probably lean in like 4.5 out of 6. It was a lot better than the first season.
Do they do that thing too where they do like 3-episode runs where it's like, this is dumb, let's get through this, let's do this?
It's never 3 dumb episodes. There's like maybe one where you're like, that didn't really do anything, but then it gets right back on board.
Okay.
So it doesn't do, even like Clone Wars. When Clone Wars was really good, there'd be like, I didn't need to see those 3 episodes.
Yeah.
This doesn't do that. There's a couple of those, but they also jump around, and like there might be a couple characters that you don't even see for a whole episode, and then they come back in the next one and whatever else. So it's good. They move it right along. I know you're not in on Succession yet, but episode 1 of season 4 was last week. Episode 2 is actually going on right now. Good setup. It's the final season, but good start, good setup. Did you watch? And actually, I know that you did. Yellow Jackets season 2, episode 1. What did you think of that?
Woo! I've already seen season 2. I've already seen episode 2.
Oh, you prick!
Because I have the Showtime app, so it comes out on Friday.
Must be nice.
It is nice.
Must be real nice.
We are going some places right now, and episode 2 is even better than episode 1. So you watch the end of episode 1, and you're like,
I love
going down.
I love this show.
This show's so good. And I got to tell you, what's off-putting to me is that, like, I was saying this to Rye. I was like, they could make Christina Ricci as crazy as they want. She's still, like, cute as a button.
She is.
I still might go on a date with Missy.
I 100% would. Oh, my God.
She's crazy.
Love Christina Ricci. I celebrate her entire catalog.
Yeah.
I also love the scene last week, and this isn't really a spoiler, but she's looking for Juliette Lewis's character, and she goes to like the hotel, and she's like, hey, have you seen my friend? She's a brunette. She's like strikingly beautiful. Also looks like she might stab you. It's like, yeah,
that's how you describe. That's Juliette Lewis. Yeah, for sure.
So this show's great. So we'll this will be a standalone.
Yes.
And this would probably be, I don't know how many people watch it. This would be a good like mid-season episode, but there's so
We
many
should do a
movies
check-in.
coming out. Yeah.
Right.
So we'll see.
There
We'll
is a
see.
character in Yellow Jackets that I know I'm going to hate every time that person is on the screen.
From
You
the
take a stab?
flashbacks or from present day?
Present day.
Oh, I think I know who it is.
The daughter.
Yeah, she's
And,
like, I know there's a lot of shows and a lot of movies where high school age kids are mean to their parents, and I get it. That's a trope or whatever.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
this one's like particularly like really mean.
Yeah. It
Really
was just
mean
like really
really-
mean to her mother.
really-
And I get it. Her mother's not a very good person, but whatever. The other thing too, we were talking about Shazam too, and I don't think I brought this up on the episode. There's no more like physical bullying that they portray it in movies anymore. Like no one just beats up a kid out in the open.
Oh my god! Or like a handicapped kid?
Yeah,
Like,
no one does that
what are
anymore.
we doing? Oh, actually,
Yeah.
no. One kid does. The kid that the Bruins signed a while ago.
Oh yeah.
Remember the Bruins this
Yeah.
year signed a kid that.
And
got
exactly,
drafted
that's why
from-
no one does that anymore.
Correct. That was so outlandish that it was like everybody knows about it. So I'm like, yeah, I don't think that's like a run of the mill high school.
No one would take just a kid's crutch and like hit him with it.
I hope not.
I hope not.
I know
If they're doing that to you, tell somebody. Tell somebody in charge, for God's sake.
Tell. That's when it's okay to tell.
Mm-hmm.
How about, are you watching Lucky Hank, the Bob
Not yet.
Odenkirk show on AMC?
Not yet. Just by your tone, I don't think I want to.
I would love to know if anybody's watching it. You can let us know on Twitter at DORK Podcast, or you can email us dorkpodcast@gmail.com if you have a lot of thoughts. It stinks, but he's in it. I'm like, and it's got some of the people that did like Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad. So I'm like, that's obviously going in the right direction. I think it's supposed to be a comedy. There's a lot of comedic actors in it. He's a college professor, doesn't seem to like love his job. Apparently his dad was hard on him and was like a writer and I think also a professor. But there's nothing here. There's nothing going on. There's nothing to like draw you in other than the fact that it's Bob Odenkirk and you're like, it has to be good, right? So
Who's
I feel
the
like
big bad of this episode, like your feelings.
there's nothing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. There's
Which
no.
is
There's
fine.
definitely no villain, but it's. I guess if it's a comedy, it's not funny enough to be a comedy. And how many comedies are hour long? You know, so I don't.
Yeah.
It's weird. Like
It's weird.
It's weird. Barry final season is coming out April 16th. Oh fuck, 2 weeks from now.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. So that we tweeted out the trailer at Dork Podcast, but this is a show, man. This is a ridiculous.
Barry does not look like he's doing well right now.
Does not. No, things he was, despite the stuff that he did in the first 2 seasons, didn't you find yourself always still, because of who it is, like still rooting for him?
Yes, and the third season was like, nope, not anymore.
Much
Not
less
anymore.
so.
Mhm.
Yeah, kind of done with that jackwagon. Hey, good news, Blue Beetle fans. We're going to be getting a trailer on Monday. So if you're listening to this on Monday, stop what you're doing and look out for the Blue Beetle trailer. Oh, we'll tweet that out, I'm sure, as well. This comes out in August, technically part of the DCEU, I guess.
That's like, who knows at this point, right?
I don't know, but Blue Beetle. Check out some Blue Beetle. And maybe more importantly, this week we're gonna get the next Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse trailer as well. So a couple of new trailers this week. Very good.
All good stuff.
We got the Asteroid City trailer, which is a Wes Anderson film.
Looks very colorful. Looks like a coloring book.
Yep, and again, like 1,000 actors in this.
I was gonna say, guess who's in it? And I bet if you name 5 actors who are in it, you would nail it. Right?
So, and we've mentioned this several times on the podcast, but you and I used to love to play 6 Degrees of whoever. We would just name 2 actors and we'd fucking play for like kill time doing that. Because of Wes Anderson, because of like David O. Russell and like Christopher Nolan, like and because of the MCU, it's like you can't even really play it anymore.
No, it's pointless. It's too easy.
Everybody's in.
Actually, you and I know that the magic movie is Mystic River.
Mystic River, and I would always use Sleepers if you were using actual Kevin Bacon, but I would always use
Brad Pitt was in that with Kevin.
Brad Pitt, Robert.
And I remember playing with you. You'd be like,
and Sleepers, you're like, all right.
With Brad Pitt was in Sleepers with Kevin Bacon. That's how like all of them ended. Yeah,
yeah. It get you there. Yeah. So really, That was the cheat. Instead of 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, it was 5 degrees of Brad Pitt. That's the game.
Yeah.
A couple of movies released on streaming this weekend. Tetris on Apple Plus, which I'm looking forward to watching. Taron Egerton is in this. It is the true story, evidently, of how they made and got Tetris out to the masses.
Yeah, because it was in the middle of the Cold War, and it was a game that was obviously developed in Moscow, and how you get it from Moscow to Japan I remember it was packaged with the Game Boy, and that's when it actually blew up.
Yeah, that's when I first played it.
Yep.
Game Boy. So I'm excited for this. I think it's like an hour, 57 minutes. It was getting good reviews last time I checked, so I'll check that out. And then Murder Mystery 2, the Adam Sandler, Jennifer Aniston romp is currently on Netflix. Smooth 90 minutes. These two are a delight, Rye. I don't care what you say. You put Adam Sandler on a film, I am going to watch it. You put Jennifer Aniston in that same film, I'm going to watch that twice.
I'm going to pass on this one.
Probably once. I'll probably watch it once.
I'll probably watch it. I'm going to watch this a handful of times. No, you're not. Yeah, I'm going to watch it twice. Maybe once.
Yeah. Once is enough. I'll report back. Once is enough. All right, let's get to this.
It's time for Davey's video game minute, even if it takes more than a minute.
All right, Rye, what do you have?
So I have the good, the bad, the indifferent, and the ugly.
Woo, boy.
Ready for this? So
yes.
The good. I started playing the Resident Evil 4 remake. It's really good. Airtight game. One of the things I've always had trouble with Resident Evil games, especially the early ones, is remember playing those games and you were just so slow and like aiming the gun, it was like really slow. So they've polished all of this. Like the combat's completely different. It's one of the better Resident Evil games. So like I feel like this is it's a 5 out of 6 for me right now. I haven't finished it yet. I'm enjoying myself, but
good.
It's really good.
Dylon, who used to work at EEI, he actually messaged me last week and was like, Resident Evil 4 is fucking awesome. Have you either of you guys played it? So all right, there you go. There's your answer.
So the bad is that the Avengers game is getting its final update. This game is dead. What an ambitious this game's dead. And so it's getting its final update, and they're basically unlocking everything that they made you pay for free.
Oh my God.
You get it for free because like, well, you get it for free, but like, what's the point?
I don't want it,
right? I don't want it anymore, right? The other thing, so John Cena, who you might be seeing on your television right now, or who was on last night, is now in PGA 2K23.
The golf game?
Yeah, you can play as John Cena. I bet you he hits it a country mile.
Oh, I bet he could pipe it. Yeah. Oh, so you know how we love a good baseball jargon.
Yeah.
So yesterday when Chris Sale was getting lit up, I tweeted something smarmy like, I don't think Chris Sale has it, and a guy responded to me. He goes, "Yeah, would you got an 80-mile-an-hour cement mixer down Cox Street?" It's like, I'm not sure how you're supposed to do
when you're fucking 85 flat and pus. It's not gonna do much
down Cox Street. Oh my God, that gave me a good.
I'm gonna steal that one. Whoever that was, I apologize. People steal shit from us all the time. I'm still convinced.
I liked it.
There is a conspiracy theory that like
everything is stolen from Dork Podcast.
I swear to God, like this is a true story. Somebody from Barstool follows the both of us.
Probably
because I was like going down like a rabbit hole. Like I clicked on something, then clicked on, as you know, I do. Like I just like I'm going down, and I found like this really funny thing, and then 2 hours later, Barstool tweeted it. Like it was like a deep pull.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure somebody does.
Right.
Well, I know a few that do.
I'm watching,
like as far as like
I'm
we're on to you.
Yeah. Anyway. So the ugly.
Street. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
Thursday, E3 got canceled. Now this is not good. Well, it's one of those things where everyone's doing their own thing. Like Ubisoft, Sony, Microsoft, Bethesda, they all do their own thing now. So it's not Nintendo. So it's not really like anyone needs E3 anymore.
Right.
And no one really does it in person. So it's just like whatever. And the last bit of news I have is PAX East happened last weekend and nobody gave a fuck.
Fuck them. No, what a bunch of pieces of shit.
Right. No one gave a shit about your little event.
Fuck about that. That is
fucking get the fuck out of here.
You dickhead.
Exactly. That's like what every time someone says PAX East to me, I don't say that out loud, but that's what I hear.
That's what I'm thinking. What did I say to PAX East?
What's
I
that?
know that. I'm not stupid. I'm smarter than you.
And let's just address this again. So we're not allowed at PAX East because somebody from Odyssey, whoever your group of stations is, went and was mean to somebody. So now we can't go.
That's
The
actually
exact people.
Well, that's the working theory. That's never even been confirmed to me.
Yeah, they just
don't even know.
They just gated us. They were just like false.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Y'all ready for bisque?
You ready for the topic du jour, Rye?
Oh yeah, I am. By the way, someone in the chat said, "As begrudges, I'm drinking out of a Wild Bill's mug." I absolutely still keep these things. These things are great. I got a baker's dozen of them. Yeah, they're still good. Still good mugs.
Get rid of the goddamn
Good
mugs.
mug. Double walled. Come on.
Keep your fucking drink cold, guy. What do you
You
want?
still got yours, right?
Yo, yeah. Goddamn
yeah.
right I do.
Good mugs.
I gotta huck that.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to pry it from my cold dead fingers. All right. It's time now for Ask Us Anything. AUA. We were taking emails, dorkpodcast@gmail.com, tweets at dorkpodcast.
Down Cock Street.
Right down Cock Street. Send them in. Instagram, you can DM us on Instagram at Dork Podcast. You can DM us or just tweet us anyway on Twitter. Those are really the three ways to get a hold of us. So let's rip through them. This one's radio related, right? This one comes in from Jay Dunks. Money aside, would you rather work 6 to 10 or 6 to 10 a.m. or 6 to 10 p.m., which is my current shift? Some would call it my current shit. Thanks as always.
For me, like if things are equal, like the view, like the popularity and the listenership or the viewership of the show is all the same, I would definitely want to work 6 to 10 p.m.
Same. Oh my god, I'm way more of a night owl than I am an early bird.
Yep. I don't want to get up at 5 o'clock to prep for this. So if all things are equal, that said, if I wanted one, if it's not equal, I'll take the 6 to 10 a.m. because that's when people listen to the radio and that's when you put on your show ponies, so to speak.
If I wanted to make like 3 times as much money, I would go to the morning. Yeah, I would probably do that. But no, I would like under this scenario, all things are equal. I would rather be awake from like 10 a.m. to like 3 a.m. than any other. Like that's how my body would, I think, function the best.
I cannot fall asleep before 11 o'clock.
Yeah, it's impossible.
Even without an aid. Yeah. Without like melatonin or something.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
All right. Here's a 2-parter from Jeremy. 1, what are the things you've bought recently that would get a no on should I have bought this?
Oh, I have one. You want to see?
Yeah,
you got one? You got one?
Yeah, so I have one. I don't know if would have gotten a no, but it was like I bought the most expensive thing I bought recently was a laptop because I didn't have a laptop. But you
need a laptop.
I need one, but I've also made it this long without one, so I've proven to myself that I didn't really need one. But
okay, hang on, keep talking. I got to go get it.
So I ended up spending too much money on the fucking laptop, but it's a nice laptop. I can bring it with me anywhere, and it connects to the internet, and I can tweet out silly memes.
So anyway. I went to go see Ant-Man Quantumania, and you know what I got, right?
No, I don't.
So they had a commemorative popcorn bucket.
Get the fuck out of here!
Which you could put the popcorn in it. I have double bubble gum in there.
I actually am just kidding. I was only playing that for effect. That looks pretty sweet.
And
yeah,
it you can't see it in this, but it lights up, like the eyes light up.
That's fucking cool, actually.
$30
out the door.
So it comes with a large popcorn, and they said, and the guy was great. He's like, "Do you want me to put the popcorn in it, or you just want the popcorn and keep the helmet clean?" I was like, "Keep the helmet clean." So this goes on my bookshelf. It's pretty
sweet. That's fucking sweet. Because how much is a large popcorn anyway?
Like 12. I think it's like $15 or something. But like,
that's like getting the novelty helmet at the baseball game. Yeah, I'm getting the fucking helmet.
Yeah, I get the helmet.
I like that a lot.
Yeah,
that wouldn't have gotten a no.
Okay, hang on.
I would have gotten a yes. What else you got? Yeah, pull something else out of your hat. Another guitar.
This is another guitar, but you'll appreciate this.
You guys got 30 guitars.
I do. This is a specific guitar because mostly Fender Telecasters, which this has active EMG pickups on it. This is a Jim Root from Slipknot signature model.
Oh shit. Okay.
So if you see on the back, it has his signature on it.
Oh my god.
Right. So
that thing probably goes loud.
This is it's so loud. Like so. You want to guess
how much that costs?
Yeah.
Dude, I
got it used. I got it used, so it's more expensive than this, but I got it used.
I have no idea how much any guitar costs, but I will guess, because Slipknot is awesome.
Right.
$250. All right, let me guess again. Okay, because I had a different guess and I lowered it way down. $700.
Right on the nose.
700. Okay, that was my original guess, and I was like, no, I don't think David would spend 700.
I was also able to buy this with my Guitar Center credit card with 24 months, no interest. So, but
This is how we do it. This is how we do it.
Hell yeah, dude! And you can eat popcorn out of a fucking
popcorn, and that thing fucking shreds. It's so heavy, so loud. It's awesome.
I love it.
Yeah.
Jeremy's second question was, why Latin, Davey? Davey, of course, a Latin teacher. Why did you choose
I can't believe I haven't told this story on the podcast. I entered college. I wanted to do. I was a double major in criminal justice and physics.
Right.
I wanted to do ballistics, kind of like at the federal level, and that was kind of my path. I went to St. Anselm College, which has a great criminal justice program. If you want to be like a cop, like a state cop, town cop, there's an amazing criminal justice program, and I'm not disparaging that. It just really wasn't what I wanted to do. But it was a liberal arts college. I had taken Latin all through high school, and the head of the classics department at St. A's said, have you ever thought about being a classics major? You're really good at this, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I haven't really thought about it. And they're like, well, anyone who's applied to from our program to dental school, medical school, or law school has gotten in somewhere. And I'm like, still don't know. And then they said, and you don't have to write a thesis. And I was like, sold.
Yeah.
Done. So I figured I would be a classics major and then figure it out on the way. Having such a good experience at boarding schools, the teaching was just a natural fit.
There you go.
So,
or even the Romans and Greeks.
Love it.
Yeah.
All right, PB. This was a tweet, I believe, with the recent accusations of Marvel's new big bad and the variant nature of where they're going. Is there a chance of recasting Kang?
I mean, there is, but I feel like this shit's already been shot. I mean, it's too far at this point. And again, I believe it was said he has like video evidence that there's no wrongdoing on his part.
Yeah, so if you missed it, I didn't follow up the whole story, but Jonathan Majors was accused of, was it domestic violence?
Yeah.
Now trying to think of Marvel, I think Josh Brolin faced some shit.
He was married to Diane Lane.
Yeah,
there was a domestic abuse.
There was some not good stuff there, but then they kind of saw that through, stayed on as Thanos. So yeah, we'll see where this goes. I think, to Davy's point, some of it's been shot, but obviously, like, Kang Dynasty hasn't been shot. No. Like the whole idea of him getting set up to be in that. Yeah, we'll see. Stuff takes a while, but my guess is we just see Jonathan Majors still. All right, our guy Wheelman Wes. If you were in a movie in which they had to go get your character because, quote, he's the best, what type of movie would you want to be in? And what would your, quote, best in the world skill be?
I have thought about this. This is amazing. This is an amazing question from Wes because I've thought about this question. I love movies where people have like a thing.
Like we can only go to this person because they're the only ones that can do it.
I have two answers.
Okay.
One of them given the person. So I'll just say that one first.
Yeah.
My gut reaction, Getaway Driver.
Like the Transporter,
or like Baby Driver, or Fast and the Furious, whatever. Like I would be like the guy who's like, you have to, or Driver, like you have to get this guy. I mean, like you have to get this guy because he's going to get you and get you out.
Yeah.
I also would love to be the guy who can like get you anything. So, there was that guy in like
so like kind of like the Wolf almost.
Yeah,
like a fixer, kind of like just
or
clean
get
up-
you in, yeah, or like that, like a Ray Donovan, or someone who's
Donovan.
just like, if you needed
yeah.
a combination of like Ray Donovan and like M from the Bond movies, who like makes all the
Oh,
gadgets.
yeah.
Like if you need something, like I can get it.
Yeah.
I know people who can get it, kind of thing.
Mine would probably be a movie where you needed to get a whole bunch of women off. And they were like, we got to go get them. And they go find me. And they bring me out. And they're like, all these
Would
women.
they refer to you as the hog?
Yeah. We got to get the hog.
We
They're
gotta
like,
get the
all
hog.
these women. They've all been so sexually frustrated. They're like, we need to get the guy. And then I fucking
And
go
his
there.
thing
Yeah.
is he can do it, all of them at the same time. Some of them just with a look.
I do them all. And I do all the styles. I do all of the styles.
Missionary with the lights off. Nothing fancy.
No, I'm not. I mean, no. And I have a clip of what that movie would sound like.
God, I'm gonna freaking explode inside you. I'm gonna spill it. I'm gonna fill you up. Oh.
I'm gonna fill you up.
What?
I'm gonna fill you up.
Just let me do this. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh. Oh. I'm about to do it. Oh. 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 Oh.
Sounds like a good skill.
I suck. That'd be my skill, obviously. I saw a great it was like a reel or something on Instagram of like a woman posted like talking to her it was like her talking to her husband, and then it's like when he whispers to you that he's like about to like make your dreams come true and like have a wild night, and then it cuts to it goes 2 seconds later and it's a guy opening a 2-liter Coke after it's been shaken. Just like everywhere. Like, yeah. Wes has a follow-up question because that one was so good. So we're gonna give him another one. The plot of Taken has happened to you. You can call any 3 action movie heroes to help get your daughter back. Who are you calling?
John Wick,
Yeah, John Wick.
Jason Bourne,
Yep.
Batman.
Yeah, probably pretty good.
It's a pretty
John-
good fucking team.
This might be recency bias, but I think you have to take John Wick.
You have to take John Wick.
I think you have to take John Wick. I think I'm taking Uma Thurman, aka the Black Mamba, aka Beatrix Kiddo from Kill Bill.
Love that.
And just fucking Frank Castle, John Bernthal's Punisher.
It's a good one.
I feel like he'd get your daughter back.
Yeah,
Go out on a limb.
I think he'd be okay. Yeah.
I think he might be a little overkill. He
Actually,
might
I don't know if I take John. I don't know if I take John Wick because he lost both his wife and his dog. No, I'm still taking Wick. I'm still taking. Wick.
You gotta take Wick. Yeah, because now if he's tasked with this, you're like, hey, this is what I need you to do. I think he'd be good. All right, this one comes in from John. Hi, Rich and Davey. I wanted to first let you guys know, listen to this, that the show has meant a lot to me for many years now. Dork ticks off a ton of boxes since I'm also a 90s kid, a private school athlete, metalhead, dork, New Englander with 2 kids. You guys have really nailed a specific subset of the population. That's insane.
So he said you said ticks a ton of boxes. That's all the boxes.
That's all. That's
it.
what we are. That is.
Yeah.
You've just summed us. It's
That's
our
the boxes.
age. It's where we went to school. The kind of music we like. Sports that we played. Where we lived. The exact number of kids we both have. It's kind of hilarious. So
Yeah.
hopefully people that have our exact likes would enjoy the podcast. I would hope. All right. So he's got some good questions. How did you guys end up at your high school? He goes, you hint around scholarships and not really fitting in with the main population of the school. He goes, I don't really know much about well, we went to St. Paul's. He mentioned St. Mark's where Davey's at now, but we went to St. Paul's. But he goes, it's an interesting topic when you bring it up. All right, so why don't you answer that first? How did you end up at St. Paul's?
So for me, I knew that I wasn't going to stay. I went to originally Bishop Girton High School in Nashua, New Hampshire, and I knew I wasn't going to stay there. My brother, who was a phenomenal hockey player, who's textbook devastating injury, first game of his senior season, shattered his leg. Wound up playing hockey at Manhattanville, but he was getting recruited like UNH, Maine, like all the hockey schools. He went to boarding school because he needed a little bit more structure academically. And the Campbell Union was is a really good hockey program. So he went there, and I knew that was kind of like the natural progression for me. So hockey, football, and baseball were kind of like my ins there. Plus, I don't know if Rich can. I was the president of the sophomore class. I actually repeated my sophomore year, so I had a lot of extracurricular things going on as well. So that they don't call them scholarships. Remember, they call them grant money.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's high school, so it's just there's enough kids there. So at St. Paul's, for example, there's like 500 something kids that go there, and there's enough kids that, God bless them, they're able to pay full. It's like it costs more than a college to go there.
And it was, I think they have now an $820 million endowment. So like that's how much money this school.
Oh yeah, it's silly. Yeah. But so that they also, to their credit, like they find kids that I think they kind of want to balance it out a little bit. So like, and not that you and I are like city kids, but we're kids that are like
local kids.
Let's bring in some of the local kids. Let's bring in some like public school kids. Like let's sort of like try to like diversify a little bit. And so I have like one of the more, I guess, unique prep school thing. Like St. Paul's is the only prep school I applied to, which is super rare. Usually kids want to go to prep school. I went to, public school 1 through 8. And then my high school at the time, which would have been Goffstown High in New Hampshire, didn't have a football team. And not that I was going to go to the NFL or anything, but I'm like, I want to play in high school.
Right.
And so I applied to Trinity in Manchester, Bishop Brady in Concord, and St. Paul's, and got into all three, brag. And Shark's, who's been on the podcast, Shark's sister went to St. Paul's, and Shark was also applying. So I'm like, all right, I'll apply there. If I didn't get in, I didn't give a shit. I'd go to one of the other two and just kind of but I got in, and then it was like, all right. And then they made it like doable to go. So I'm like, all right, I'll go. And I even remember going like the week before I went, I'm like, well, if I don't like this, I can like get out of this, right?
Just leave.
My parents were like, you got to at least try it. And I fucking hated it at first. Like it was so weird.
I remember that. Yeah.
I was like 14 years old. I was homesick, even though I lived 10 minutes away. Like it was a weird situation.
And this was the weird situation too, because I immediately loved it. And it was because you were a freshman, I was a sophomore, but you had just turned 14 and I was 17. But even though we were a great apart.
Big difference.
It's a huge difference. Like, and I was ready to just kind of do my own thing. And so I loved the freedom, and like I loved being on my own and finding my own way to do this. So it was,
I went home every weekend, like every single weekend I went home.
I did until I didn't. And then I had a long-term serious girlfriend at home, and then that did not end well. And then I just stopped going home altogether.
Yeah. And actually, as if anybody, I guess at this point, maybe if your kids are going to go through something like this, what I learned was like by the next year, I didn't go home as often, and that completely cures the homesickness. Cause like the homesickness restarts. Like if you go to school for 5 days, go home, and then you go back to school, like that fucking Monday or Sunday night is like brutal. So like, you got to kind of not do that.
And I remember my last year there, I don't recall us going home like at all.
No, well, probably
like,
never.
Not nearly as much. Yeah.
Yeah, probably never. Oh yeah, so there's that. Yeah, it's a weird thing. And then somebody asked me actually the other day, I don't know if you were there for that. Oh yeah, I think we were actually talking about this when somebody was like, were you popular in high school? And I was like, honestly, it sounds like such a simple question, but a prep school is very much like a college, and like nobody's popular in college. Like you just have groups of people, and it's just kind of what it is.
Yes. I think it was popular I think for the two of us, there was a small group. I would say 80% of the people there knew who we were and didn't mind us. Like we were fun, we were funny, and we were like, you know, I was
tolerated us.
Yeah, no, I mean that in the sense that like I don't want to say well liked, but we weren't disliked.
No,
Yeah,
I wouldn't say. Well,
I mean, we went to our reunions this year, and like we were just sitting there, and
Oh,
like
yeah, that
different
was
groups
fine.
of people were coming up and talking to us, and
People are
I
grown-ups.
felt like that. I felt really good about that. That it was just like,
Yeah.
people from different crews were coming around and saying
Yeah.
hello to us. Like, yeah,
Took
it's like
20.
I was thinking of the Always Sunny thing where like they'll come and pay their respects.
Oh yeah, at their reunion.
The Golden God, like it wasn't like that at all. But I got along with I got along with more people than you did.
For
I
sure.
was kind of like the buffer.
I did not.
No,
Get
you
along
did
with-
not care to. You did, but you didn't want to. I mean, no, so that was fine.
Yeah, I was good with it.
Yeah.
I ended up having a good time. Like, 'cause there was a couple of years there where they're really fun. I think, by the way, 4 years is way too many years for a prep school.
Yeah, and 3 was just enough for me.
3, I should like that senior year. There was just so many times where it's like, guys, you gotta get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
All right, follow up question. What's your most embarrassing moment?
Oh my God, I was. Someone asked me this the other day. So I didn't get recruited to play hockey out of college. My college process was an absolute mess. I wound up at St. A's by accident. And I remember my dad. I was done. We'll get into the follow up. This from a physical standpoint, like I was just done. I didn't want to do it anymore. My dad pressured me to kind of have a conversation with the new coach who was coming in, because there was a new coach coming into St. A's the year I went there for hockey. And he's like, just go talk to him. Just go talk to him. And I remember he's like, oh, so you played at St. Paul's? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, what was your relationship with, you know, Coach Pratt? Because I know Coach Pratt was there. And I was like, well, you know, someone else recruited me. Like, I wasn't really one of his guys. Like, he tried to play this weird Middlebury system, and you know, it didn't really fit like my style of play. And like, I don't think he and I got along very well. And he's just sitting there listening to me. And at the end of me going off about like how I was this misunderstood hockey player, he's like, yeah, Coach Pratt and I played at Middlebury together, and we're, you know, pretty close. And I talk to him every day. And I was like, fuck. Like, I just like put my head down, and I was like,
this guy,
all right.
He's like,
He's like, he let me, he's like, I'm like, they play this weird Middlebury, like 3-back system. And like, I didn't really want to play that way. And I thought I didn't say it was bullshit, but
but still, yeah.
I kind of said it was bullshit. And he's like, yeah, I played with Coach Pratt at
I love him.
Middlebury. We were teammates, and yeah,
That's our system.
And I just remember thinking like, fuck. I just like turned red and just like walked out. I was like, all right, so I'm never playing hockey here.
Yeah.
And I played juniors, but
yeah.
Yeah.
Probably one time.
It's hard. This should be really hard for you to talk about the time you get embarrassed.
This is tough. It's probably that one time I was hooking up with that girl, and I
Just in my past.
No, there was a time in college. Now, this is like, at the time it was pretty embarrassing, but then like as you go on, it's like whatever. So one night I was probably overserved, and I went back to my room, and I went in there and nobody was in there. Open the door, sit down on the couch, and just like throw up on the floor. Problem is, not my room. It was somebody else's room, which was the exact opposite, like same second floor, but like the other end of the building, but like that room, like that exact room, but just on the wrong one. And it just so happened to be unlocked with nobody in there. And so 2 kids come back, they see that I'm in there and there's puke all over the floor. And they're like, just what are you doing? Like, what is this? And then I apparently tried to fight them. And then thank God my 2 buddies were there, heard like this big ruckus coming down, and like got me out of there, and like
way out of there.
Got me way out of there, and it ended up being fine. But it was just like, for like that next week, it was like, I just didn't want to be that guy that was like throwing up in somebody else's room. Like that's
right.
That's not a very good thing to be. Anyway, a separate question: would you guys ever make a push to do the podcast full time? What would it take to gain a wide enough following to do it as a job? How many subs, views, merch sales? Would it take a few years to get there? Would you have to tweak the format of the brand? Just some thoughts. I love the show the way that it is, but I'm just thinking out loud.
I think it would take a little bit more of a full-time effort on both of our parts. And like, I think it would involve getting some sort of sponsorship and some like money behind it, like multiple sponsorships, and having like, and again, I think that we would have to have like just in terms of like what it would take, we would have to have like a daily like a multimedia assault. So it would have to be like social media, like all social media is like coming from both of us, really organized marketing thing. And I don't know. I feel like the market is so saturated now with things like this that
It's tough.
we would have to come up with something new, not a new
Yeah.
format, but we would have to come up with a thing that no one else does.
I know. That's why it's tough. It's like podcast is one of those things where there's probably like 10 million podcasts, but what percent actually like make money?
Mhm.
Not many. Not many do it. So yeah, I would love to. It as far as changes, I think Davey's right. We would have to do something that kind of separates us from like other just like movie and TV pods. We would also have to do it like I don't know what the sweet spot is because do you do it 3 days a week? Do you do it more? Do you do it one like I don't know how often you do it to really like monetize it because once a week probably isn't enough.
No,
But
and
I
I
don't
honestly
think you
think
do it 5 days a week like you're a radio show all of a sudden. Like I don't think
Yeah.
that's what you would do either. It's probably more like 3, I think.
I think the biggest thing is we'd have to do it in person. Like we'd have to have a space where we could do like sit and do it and actually have like guests on.
Yeah, so that's maybe what it would be. Like once a week we kind of just do like what we normally do. Once a week you have like and how you get this is that another whole thing, but you get like a big guest on.
Mhm.
You know, because that's I think how people get drawn to new podcasts more than anything else.
Right.
Is like, oh, fucking so and so was on there, and then you're like, oh, the people interviewing them actually weren't that bad, and then maybe I'll listen to them later. You know,
Right. And I think we need to get,
Yeah.
we would have to show up and get like a couple Boston local celebrities and then kind of build off of that.
Yeah.
Who know, like we'd have to talk to like Casey Affleck. Who knows this person? Who knows this person?
Oh yeah,
You know what I
get
mean?
Casey on.
Yeah.
My guy broke the big Batman news. All right, this one comes in from Mike. When will there be a standalone on The Leftovers?
I'm finishing the first season now. It is really, really good. It's going to take me with everything's coming out now.
So
I would say
much
earliest
shit,
the summer. Earliest the summer.
All right, but it's happening. So the answer to that, Mike, is that's on Davey's time. So when Davey's ready for that, I will be ready for that. I'd love to rewatch. I haven't watched it in a while. I'd rewatch it for that. So that'd be good. This one comes in from Ken. What do you think will be more successful in the next 5 years? Star Wars universe or MCU? And he adds, successful can be debated however you'd like.
I think longevity wise, I think Star Wars has a little bit more in the tank than the MCU does. I really think we're on the downward trend here with comic book movies. I don't suspect it'll ever be as good as it was in like the mid like 2010s. I really don't. I think you're gonna have to temper your expectations there. And also Star Wars went through a similar thing. Like there was a huge dip in quality and then it's coming back. So I think Star Wars is just going to continue to like just do its thing forever.
I think they're both like, you know, Marvel still has Feige and Star Wars has Filoni, and oh my God. Sorry.
Yeah.
Are you watching WrestleMania?
Of course not.
So oh, this ain't good. So just real quick, so the Miz is like the host. He doesn't even have like a match or anything, right? So last night Pat McAfee came out and beat him, and it was like whatever, just to kill time and like get those guys on the show. So tonight Shane McMahon came out to challenge the Miz, and he was running up and down. I think he just blew out his leg. Like he's down in the ring. I shouldn't be laughing. Like I think fucked up his leg pretty bad. And now they're trying to like do something.
Did he like was running into the ring and like fell?
No, he was in the ring and they were having a bit of a match, and he came off the ropes running full speed. I think something popped and he went down.
Oh.
And now Snoop Dogg is beating up the Miz. They're calling an audible here.
They're like, Snoop, get in there.
They had to get Shane O'Mac out of there. I think he popped his knee or his hammy, or he broke his leg.
It's just garbage down there now.
Dude. Anyway, something's fucked. No, I would say Star Wars. I think they both could be good. I think the MCU, I'm interested to see at least where this Kang thing goes. I'm with Davey. It won't be as good as Infinity War and Endgame, but I think it could be decent. But I'm pretty fucking pumped for where Star Wars is going. Adam, is Joel from The Last of Us a DILF?
Sure.
Yeah. Michael asks, in time, we know X-Men will eventually join the MCU. Do you think James Gunn will ever tie in Mortal Kombat or the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles into the new DCU? They crossed over in video games and comics in the past. Yeah, what do you think?
No. I mean, I think he's got a very clear picture of like what it is he's doing with these properties. No, I don't think it would get muddied that way.
So
That said,
yeah,
you could do some cool turtle stuff, and you could do some Mortal Kombat. Like the last Mortal Kombat movie, the one they did on HBO, was pretty good.
yeah, it was great. That's what gave us this.
Ah, laser beam! It's better than fireballs, you pussy!
So I think no early on, but if it's successful, because like what we've seen with Marvel is as they've gone on, I think they've been like, hey, you want to have a crazy cameo? Hey, you want to put Howard the Duck in there? Go ahead. Hey, you want to do this? Go ahead. Like they would do whatever they wanted. And I think if James Gunn has like a really good 5 years, I bet I wouldn't be shocked at all if you see like a little Easter egg where you're like, there's like ooze or like something to suggest that like they might tie them in later on. All right. Nathan says, loves the show. Here are some questions. He sent in a whole bunch. What's the most wasted you have seen your co-host? I don't think I've fucking seen you that hammered.
I don't think I've seen. I think
good job.
I do a good job. I don't like getting. There's been a couple times. I think my one wife has seen me like blackout drunk maybe like 3 times. I'm not.
Yeah, you're not like you don't get bad.
No, and I'm not that big of a drinker. I would say the one time that we got a little tipsy together that was almost a problem was that time we were at the Grand Buffet in Nashua. We've told the story before. Where you and I almost got in a fight with the same guy. And he was telling us he was 30-0, and you kept saying like, against who?
Yeah,
who did you fight?
Who are these guys? I got to see these guys. I don't know if
you're like your mom.
Games. Yeah,
and I remember it kind of got so around us. So the 2 of us are talking to this guy, and I remember I had a glass of ice. I had a Mai Tai glass. It was like a highball. And I remember turning it over in my hand, like having it like upside down, and someone grabbing my wrist and was like, "We're not doing that," because I was just about ready to put it in the guy's hairline. But then I remember someone said the cops were coming, and then this is true. The guy who was running the karaoke, this guy Dougie, I never know his last, just went by Dougie.
He did the Dougie.
He pulled out a taser and was like threatening to tase everybody. I might be mixing stories here because this is how I was not like in my right mind, but that sounds right to me.
It sounds right. No, I definitely remember that night. Your brother was there as well.
I think it was my brother who grabbed my wrist. He's like, don't. Yeah.
Let's not do this here. Let's not do that. Let's see. Favorite bad horror movie?
Night Flyer.
Yeah, Night Flyer. Now, I don't even know if it depends on who you ask.
No, that's not true. I love bad horror movies. I've seen so many of them. I mean, maybe does Terrifier fall into that?
See, I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah,
like that's my whole point.
Is like bad.
Like I think a lot of people don't like or like Urban Legend, let's say. Probably doesn't get good reviews, but like I love it. So it might
there was a movie. This is hard. This is a deep pull. My mom used to, when I was growing up, my mom worked at like a Suncoast Video. It wasn't Blockbuster. It was like another
I remember
place.
Suncoast.
Yeah, she worked at Suncoast Video, and she brought home this straight to DVD. It was like one of those like those like they're 2 kids kids in a tent telling stories to each other, like that kind of thing. And it was a movie called The Willies, and it had Sean Astin.
I remember The Willies.
Post Goonies.
Yeah.
I loved that movie, and it was so bad.
Yeah, I remember The Willies.
And it was so dumb. And Donkey Lips from Salute Your Shorts has one. He plays this kid, Gordy Belcher, who does things with flies.
Yeah.
And check out The Willies. You can find it on YouTube. You can find the whole movie. So, yeah.
He also asked, whose wife did Comic Buck Guy make a pass at? Did it work? And will he ever be let back on the pod? No, Uncle Buck never said a word to either one of our wives.
Neither one of them.
That's never happened. We had a brief little fallout because he spoiled Infinity War, and then he was mad about how we responded to that. But then we've been fine since. We've actually done a few podcasts over on Mac and Goo with him.
Yep,
we're all good. I have no problem.
All good. We're totally fine with Uncle Buck. I would welcome if you said he's coming on one week. I'd be like, great, can't wait.
He's great.
Yeah.
Brad in the live chat wants to know how much do we weigh? To which, of course, I would ask, hard or soft?
Hard or soft? I am shockingly dense. I've shrunk since my last physical, so I'm like just a shade under 5'10", which, by the way, is above average height. So the height of the average American male is 5'9". I am above 5'9", so I am above average height.
All right.
So
yes, how much do you weigh? He didn't say how tall are you.
Well, let me preface that by saying, like, I would beat any carnival barker who were to like guess my weight.
Yeah.
I weigh like 230 pounds.
Yeah. I weigh
dense.
Before dinner 205. I need to drop my fighting weight is probably more like 190, 195 is probably where I should be, where I'm like at my healthiest. But right now, listen, I have a new schedule now. All right. I went through a lot. I had a lot of stresses. No, I'm just kidding. I'm 205.
Yeah, I think me 205, 210 is when I was in the best shape of my life. I was like 210. Yeah.
I gotta move it down a little bit. All right, from Jared. What's up, Keefe Davey, and my favorite co-host, Adam Cole. He goes, in honor of Masters next weekend, the winner of the previous tournament gets to decide the menu of the current year's Masters champion dinner. What would each of you have as the following? So I'll do rapid fire.
Okay.
What would your appetizer be?
Buffalo chicken.
Yeah,
buffalo chicken dip.
I'd go wings. Go buffalo chicken wings.
Something buffalo chicken. Yeah.
Super salad.
What time it takes place in March? I'd probably go salad here.
Yeah, I love a New England clam chowder, but I'd probably just go like Caesar salad.
Caesar salad.
Yeah.
Yep.
What would be your entree?
Steak. I'd probably go like a nice tomahawk T-bone.
Oh yeah, big old
like tomahawk steak. Yeah,
big old
or a cowboy ribeye, something like that, like a good one. Yeah,
I think a big greasy cheeseburger.
That'd be good.
How about what's your dessert? Yeah, yep. This is a tough one.
I was gonna say banana pudding and Nilla wafers for everybody.
Hair pie.
Hair pie. No, it has to be hair pie.
Hair pie for everybody.
Yeah.
Mine would be like ice cream, just like tons of fucking ice cream, soft, hard, whatever kind of ice cream, but like lots of ice cream. And then what would your drink be? Your drink?
I've told you, a tequila old fashioned has now become my signature drink.
Oh, that sounds delicious.
It's delicious. So I make it so tequila or mezcal old fashioned.
Yeah.
Blow your doors off.
I love that so much. Yeah, I'd probably do like a Long Island iced tea, glass it up a little bit.
By the way, the tequila old fashioned is Keanu Reeves, Johnny Silver. It's called the Johnny Silverhand in Cyberpunk. That's where I got the idea.
Oh, all right. I like that. All right. This one comes in from Joshua. Question for Sunday. Last of Us was an obviously successful adaptation of a video game from a long time ago. What else is out there in the world of video games, comics, or books that you think would make a great adaptation for either the small or big screen? Great question. I would say God of War, and
and that's coming
anyway. They're doing it anyway.
They're doing Gears of War.
Yeah, that'd be good. I'm in on that.
There were games that I'm trying to think. They tried Silent Hill. I want them to actually try Silent Hill again and make it a series.
They did a movie of Silent Hill.
They did several movies, but it wasn't great. Alan Wake maybe would be good.
Okay.
I'm trying to think. Oh, what's the game? Everyone, when it came out, people hated it, but I actually loved it. Days Gone is a zombie thing, and you're like in a motorcycle gang, like an
I remember that. I played that.
Yeah, I love that game. So I think that would be pretty cool. I know we're like zombie hangover.
I wonder if
Dead Space would be good too. Yeah.
I don't know how you could pull it off, but basically like Grand Theft Auto, like you could take your liberty, you could choose how you want to do it. You could pick the city, you could do a whole thing. I know a lot of movies are kind of like that, but I don't know, something Grand Theft Auto wise
or Red Dead, anything.
Oh, Red Dead's
just like a massive, just a massive.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, Red Dead would be really good.
I would rather watch Red Dead than watch Yellowstone.
Red Dead, Yellowstone. Yeah. Oh god, you put the fucking Yellowstone.
Yeah.
All right, this one comes in from Tony. Hello. He says, first question. Most of us are aware of the hot versus cold debate and the Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom fiasco, but is there another movie or TV show that you two wholeheartedly disagree about?
I can think of one.
What do you got?
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh, yeah. I love it. You do not.
I do not like it. Nope.
I feel
I
like
thought the last 20 minutes of it were awesome.
Yeah.
And there was like anytime Brad Pitt was by himself, it was great.
Yeah.
Other than that,
I'll have a question. Who's right? Well, obviously I am.
obviously I am. So that movie's
Once
not
Upon a
that
Time
good.
in Hollywood's a good one. I know you don't hate Scream, but like I love it so much that there's like might be enough of a gap
And
there.
I think there's enough of a crossover where like I think most of the time, like if I said Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, like why I don't like this,
Yeah.
even if you disagree, you would be like, all right, like I kind of see what you mean. With Scream, it's a little bit different because you don't see what I mean.
No, I just love the whole thing.
You just love the whole thing. And I think Adam Sandler, anything Adam Sandler does, I think
I'm a Sandler fan.
I'm gone with that. Like it's just so stupid to me.
Yeah, so that's another one. That's another one. But like I can't defend all the jokes. Like going back to like the first murder mystery, like even I like roll my eyes at some of them, but I just
or like Jack and Jill, like and there's
Jack and Jill sucked. Little Nicky sucked. Like there's been a few that have sucked.
And I think where we more than anything, I think we part ways is like you have a very specific musical palette where mine is like there's certain music that I would put on and you'd be like, turn this shit off.
Yeah.
Like right now. Like there was a time I was like Victor Wooten's Show of Hands, where it's just like jazz bass for like an hour and a half, and you're like, "What the fuck are you listening to?"
Yeah, I can't do it.
Like, turn this shit off. Or like, no, it's a jazz,
played a lot of
Medeski
that,
Martin Wood. You know,
you played a lot of Jamiroquai. Not for me.
Like that's where we kind of do the Vin Diesel, Paul Walker kind of thing. Just fork in the road right there. Yeah.
All right, this is a second question from Tony. Game 7 playoffs. Who's Davey putting in net? Tim Thomas, Tuukka Rask, or is it now Linus?
What year?
At their best.
Their best. I mean, I will be honest with you right now. I mean, Tim Thomas's run in the 2011 playoffs will probably never be replicated. I understand that Tuukka never had that run.
Mm-hmm.
I also know from my friends who played with Tuukka Rask in the AHL that like not a big game goalie. I have word on the street that he was a puker. He was a nervous puker. So not a big game goalie. Is Tuukka Rask the best goalie in the Boston Bruins franchise? Yes. You can't argue with that. You can't.
Okay.
Did Tim Thomas win a Stanley Cup for the Boston Bruins? Yes, he did. I can't argue with that. Linus Ullmark is having a spectacular season. I want to see what he does in the playoffs before I can.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to with Linus, the playoffs. But if he wins it, it's pretty.
If he wins it, he'll never buy a meal in the city of Boston again.
But not only that, like I'm with you. Like Tuukka, I'm not with you to the extreme that you are on Tuukka, but like I understand that he had a great career, and it wasn't solely his fault for the losses.
No, and he's a Hall of Famer, and Tim Thomas isn't. End of the day.
Yeah, he had a longer run, but I'm saying if Tim Thomas wins a cup and then Tuukka doesn't, and then fucking Linus wins one, like it doesn't look good for Tuukka.
I feel as though personality-wise, like Tim Thomas and Tuukka Rask are also very polarizing, whereas Linus Ullmark is just universally loved. Like he's just like a happy guy.
Linus seems
love
like
that guy.
Like a good dude. Yeah,
good hang probably.
Yeah.
Josh
in the chat actually emailed in, and he wants to know what's your favorite Urban Dictionary entry? And in that same vein, are you guys belly cousins?
I don't know what a belly cousin is. I believe
belly cousins means did you and I make sweet love to the same person at separate times, not at the same time?
I thought that was Eskimo brothers.
I think belly cousins is also acceptable.
I do not. I'm positive that never happened. No.
Yeah, unless there's something I don't know, I assume the answer is no.
The answer is no. The answer is no on that.
Sorry to let everybody down. I know everybody was hoping that we might be, but I don't think that we are.
There was a situation where I wish I got there first, and you beat me to the punch. But that was we know that's
I know
the story for off there. Yeah.
Reminds me of the Real Big Fish song. I wish your girlfriend was my girlfriend.
Yes, correct. And I think my favorite Urban Dictionary entry is munging. Look it up on your own.
You're not going to tell us what munging is? I know what it is.
What it is, but that's like and my favorite use of it, it involves a dead body. We were playing, so I had heard about it before, and I didn't know that like anyone else knew what that was.
Yeah.
And the baseball field at Trinity Pauling in right field over the fence is a graveyard. And a kid absolutely, it was actually, by the way, weird pull, Reese Davis's son, Chris,
Okay.
hit a ball, like actually pissed on it, a cement mixer down Cox Street, and he hit the shit out of this ball. Chris actually had a success. He played for Princeton and then did a graduate year. He got hurt and then did a graduate year at Duke, and actually had a really good baseball career.
Oh, good for him. Yeah.
But one of the kids on the bench, it went into the graveyard and he referred to it as a mung bomb. And I, as an educator and as a coach, you try to keep your cool when stuff like that happens.
But like,
I doubled over laughing. Yeah. Like I thought that was the funniest. He's like, "Oh, Dave is the absolute mung bomb guy." I was just like, "Oh my god!"
Like, yes. I mean, sometimes there's just the perfect joke, and what he's really supposed to do about it. This was, I think, the last time I was getting a haircut. So I found a place near me that actually I had a great place in Medford. This isn't a question.
Jacked you up, right?
No. Oh, yeah. No, I've been to a couple that have jacked me up, but these guys are good. So I went to a place in Medford. There was this dude that's been cutting hair forever. He went to like middle school and high school with Lenny Clark and still cuts Lenny's hair.
Yeah.
He's like the fucking coolest guy ever. But then I moved out of Medford. So then I was like looking for places, got some terrible places. Long story short, I go to a place now. It's like a barbershop. There's like 3 dudes that are probably like our age that like cut the hair in there. And the last time I was in there, and I don't really say shit. I just sit there, get my haircut, and leave. But he was telling a story about something, and it involved Jankum. And he says to the guy, like the other guy, he's like, the other guy's getting his haircut. He's like, "Do you know what Jankum is?" The guy's like, "No." And I'm just like, "Yeah, I do." But go ahead, tell the rest of your story.
Go ahead, tell the rest of your story. It involves a balloon and waste, body waste.
So I'm like, I'm obviously in a pretty good place. These guys are just talking about Jankum.
You know, I find that Jankum is a little bit more palatable if you get a little cum in it. Not a lot, but just a little bit, and then spit in it. I think that's where the real magic happens.
That's where you got to go.
That's where the real chemistry happens. Yeah.
And then the other thing Josh says, what would be scarier if it came to life, the monkey dick statue or the Danish troll statue?
Oh, by far, the monkey dick statue would be a permanent co-host on this show. I feel like he would be
Third
amazing.
Mike.
The Danish troll, if that showed up, if that moved locations in my house, I would burn my house down.
That was the scariest thing we've ever seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was scary without moving.
Right.
The thing it's on the fly like that. No, I'm out on that. So, all right. Well, thanks. I know we didn't get to all of them, but we got to. We've already gone past our limits here. But thanks everybody for emailing and tweeting and DMing us questions for our Ask Us Everything. We really appreciate it. Good stuff. Try to get some more in the future, and you can still email us anyway. I know I don't do the best job, but I'll try to email you back if you have a direct question. If we don't address it on the podcast, I'll try to answer you guys. Or same with Davey at RVonD, Davey on Twitter. He does the same thing. So appreciate all the questions and all of that. Let's get to this.
Pick of the bomb.
Pick of the bomb. Pick of the bomb.
Pick of the bomb.
All right, Dave, would you like to kick, receive, defer, or you may also choose at this time to defend a goal?
I will receive this week. I kicked last week, I think. And I was talking to you a little about this off the air, but I watched the trailer and then the first 20 minutes of the first episode of a show on Apple TV, by the way, which Sneaky has a lot of good shows. So Ted Lasso's back. It's really good. There's a show called Shrinking with Jason Segel, which I just started watching.
What's that?
Really good. It's really, really good.
Worth watching?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the first episode kind of sets the table and then it gets better as it goes.
Okay. Right.
But there is a show on there called Monster Factory, which is they're amateur wrestlers who are coming out of like, I forget what the Heart camp was called.
Oh, that was the Heart Dungeon.
The Heart Dungeon. And there's like all these like wrestling factories that have coaches who try to promote you and try to get you seen and get you a try at the WWE. This is the one called the Monster Factory. And they're getting everybody in the WWE now. So like and they have some characters in this troupe. So if you are a big fan of wrestling, I'm not, and I find the show intriguing. So if you want to check that out, Monster Factory on Apple TV.
Well, speaking of wrestling, and not just because I'm watching WrestleMania right now, and WrestleMania has been pretty good this weekend. I have had like one eye on these fights, but Saturday was great. But on A&E, they've been doing, I think it's the 3rd season now. They do Rivals. So they do like an hour-long documentary talking about just picking, 2 rivals. And then they also do biography. And so they have a new slate this year. And I haven't watched all of them, but I watched the China one. It was really good. I know they just did a documentary on her last year, but this one was also really good. They did one on Paige. They did one on the NWO. And I'm like, I've seen a lot of this, and I've listened to some of the podcasts, but even the biographies had like a few things that even wrestling, or like, I don't know, I'm not the biggest diehard, but like newish stuff. So I recommend those, and I think those are available just like on demand. So even if you haven't DVR'd them, you can fucking grab those and
fucking wrestling.
Just fucking give them a watch. All right, Ryan, next week, correct me if I'm wrong, Super Mario Brothers movie.
Oh shit, really?
Yeah, next week, Super Mario Brothers movie.
All right, I gotta guess I'm going to the movies this weekend.
The Super Mario Brothers movie comes out April 5th.
Yeah, it's Easter weekend too.
Oh, are we doing the podcast Sunday night still?
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I think I can. The Easter Bunny's long gone by then.
Yeah, Jesus and I are cool. I mean, he's got bigger stuff to worry about right now. He's not worried about whether or not I'm working on Easter. Yeah.
How about Super Mario with a runtime of 1 hour 32 minutes?
Tight.
This movie's gonna be the balls. Sorry. So next week we'll do Super Mario Brothers movie. All right, that'll do it for us. You can rate, review, subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. Tell a friend, tell a dork. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at Dork Podcast. Sunday night is the new time here. Sunday night at 9. We stream them live. You can always go back after the fact and watch them on YouTube as well if you so choose. And Ra, you don't give a shit about anything, do you?
What'd you say?
You don't give a shit about anything, do you?
Not really.